Okay, so this session is all about how to get started and how to be successful in an online math class. I think it's really, really important to keep in mind, and I think sometimes students forget this. This class is only 6 weeks long. It is a half of a summer semester. Summer semesters are 12 weeks, whereas a normal fall and spring semester are 16 weeks. So I think it's important to know that this is going to move fast, and it's important that you log in and complete something every day. That will make your life so much easier instead of trying to complete it all in 1 or 2 days. Trust me, it will be a headache if you do it that way. Also, if you complete a little bit each day, it allows you time to text me or email me a question and for me to get back to you in time for you to still complete the assignment in a timely manner. Okay? We're just going to talk about the structure of the course right now. This is basically your homepage when you log in. You should see your announcements. And as you can see, I've put a few in there to get you guys started. You can use Internet Explorer, you can use Firefox, but I just find that using Google Chrome, iMath.AS shows up the best, and iMath.AS is your online homework system. We'll be talking about that a little bit today. But you can use what you're comfortable with. If you find that buttons aren't working or you can't see the math problem properly, then chances are you need to change what browser you're using. And again, I find that Google Chrome works well with the online homework system. And in this announcement above here, these were just some tips about being successful in this class. And again, this class is not 8 weeks, it is only 6. This is the summer. During the fall and the spring, it's an 8-week course. So you should log in at least once a day. I do try to hold live study sessions like this once a week to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions. Other than that, you guys have to use the resources that are there for you that, again, we're going to talk about today. Here's my phone number. You guys should save it and text me any questions you may have. You can email me as well, but text usually gets a quicker response. Something as simple as you're working on a homework problem and you're stuck. Take a picture of your screen, send it over to me, and let me know what's going on. And I usually can get back to you pretty quickly and help you out. I find that a lot of students enjoy communicating with me this way. It gives us a one-on-one, and it gives them what they need instead of a general announcement that would be sent to everyone. I am on the Osceola campus twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so if you ever wanted to meet in person, we could do it then. I live in Orlando near the East Campus, so I also could meet up with you there on other days of the week. So if you ever want to meet in person, I just need to know so I can make arrangements for that. You should be keeping a binder in this course, and not that you'll have to turn the entire binder in, but at several points during the 6 weeks, you'll be asked to show pieces and parts of it. And one of your final assignments is creating a study tool, and you could in fact use your binder or your portfolio as your final study tool that you will submit a video or pictures of it to prove that you've been keeping one organized and neat and whatnot. They sell one in the bookstore, or you could just make your own. I'm good either way. And let's see what else. This is obviously your schedule of due dates as well as your welcome email. Let's go ahead and open those. Okay. All right. So this email basically gives you the dues of the course. It tells you how to log in to Blackboard. It also gives you a course that you can look at that teaches you how to use Blackboard specifically. It's not math related. It's about Blackboard itself. Very, very important piece is how you will be graded. Okay, these are the percentages that your grade breaks down into. 15% is your classroom engagement. This area includes any discussion topics. For example, the very first one, your video introductions. I'll be uploading my video tomorrow for you guys to see and comment on, and I will also start to engage with you on your videos tomorrow. So that's one of your first discussion topics. Assignments where you're asked to show your work. This is what I was talking about when I was referring to you should be keeping a portfolio anyway, and as long as you're keeping a very neat portfolio / binder, you'll be able to show your work whenever asked to. We'll talk about how you'll show your work and so on in a minute. Time management project, your study tool, aka your portfolio. Remember I said you can use your portfolio as your final project for your study guide if that's what you choose to do. And you also have an assignment called Math in 4 Pictures. So these are all your classroom engagement assignments. There's not a lot of them, but they're throughout the chapters, and they are a pretty significant percentage of your overall grade. Some students, I feel, sometimes blow them off because it's not 20 math problems. But I find that those students could have had an A, but instead they end up with a B or a C because they're leaving out 15% of their grade. We'll talk more specifically about each individual assignment as the 6 weeks goes on. 20% of your grade is something called competency checks. These are what I like to call small quizzes, but they're not quizzes because you're not taking them in a testing environment. You're taking them at home. You can work on the questions that you miss as much as you need to all the way until the end of the semester. And these small quizzes prepare you for the final exam. Your final exam is essentially a combination of questions from each of the competency checks that you have. This is an easy 20%. Like I said, you can continue to work on these all semester long until the final exam. There's no reason for you not to do well in this 20% here. You have your midterm, which is 10% of your overall grade. This test actually must be taken in any Valencia testing center. Okay? And I have had students take them at other places. For instance, a student in Jacksonville, something was going on. They needed to take their final exam there. They went to the local college, sent me the testing information, and we were able to set it up that way. But the easiest thing is for you to just go ahead to any Valencia campus, East, West, Lake Nona, Osceola, Winter Park, downtown, any of them. Okay? Now that midterm, you will be in a testing center. There are no calculators, and the testing center will provide you with scratch paper. So basically just come with a pencil. Okay? Your iMath.AS homework. This is in the same exact system that your competency checks are in, except these have deadlines. These you should be completing as we go, and after a certain deadline, if you have not completed it, it will change to a 0, whereas again, the competency checks you can complete as much as you'd like. Your final exam and your midterm have what we call reviews. So those reviews for the midterm and the review for the final exam make up 10% of your grade, basically 5% each. They're very, very important, not only to your grade, but in preparation for the midterm and the final. They are pretty much the same exact tests, same exact questions, same type of questions. It's a perfect opportunity for you to see if you're ready for the midterm and the final. And again, you can take those practice midterms and practice finals as much as you want to up until the deadline of the actual test. So again, this 20% and this 10% here are giveaways. You can do them as much as you want. Okay? And your final exam is 25% of your overall grade. And it's 40 questions. It's fill in the blank mostly with a handful of multiple choice. Of course, you could opt not to take the final, but then, of course, that is giving yourself a 0 for 25% of your overall grade, which means the highest grade you could possibly have is a C, but that means you must have an A in everything else. So obviously, it's not a good thing not to take it. But again, all you need is a C average in the class when you're done. At the end, after all assignments are submitted, you need to have a C at the end, and then you can move on to MAT0028. So I just want to kind of poll you guys real quick to make sure we're on the right track. So I'm going to just ask you guys a couple questions, and if you could answer that, that'd be great. Let me know if you guys can see that. So can you guys see that question that it's asking there? How many weeks long is the course? And how many chapters are there? How many weeks long is the course and how many chapters are there? Few people didn't pick yet. There we go. Very good. The course is 6 weeks long and there are 8 chapters in the book. Let's see what else we got here. What about this one? What grade do you need to pass in the class? Don't worry, Nina. I'm going to show you where to find the competency checks. And Catherine, I think I answered your question about the testing centers too. Very good, guys. You just need a C average in the overall course. Okay, that's great. Okay, so let's move on. Do you guys have any other questions so far as we're going? Okay. Okay, so most of the assignments, or all, I tried to make sure all assignments have due dates for Saturday at midnight at 11:59. Not Sunday, 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday at midnight, 11:59. Except for your very last 2 learning modules, learning module 9 and 10, which are due Tuesday, August 4th. And that's because that is the end of the semester. That is the very last day of the semester. That is the last day to take your final. That is the last day you'll have access to Blackboard. There's nothing you could do but talk to me after August 4th, okay? And this definitely says July, but that is incorrect because we know that it's supposed to be August. Okay. All right. And keep in mind the testing center, each testing center on each campus has different hours of operation. So a lot of students, oh, I went to so-and-so campus and they closed, so they wouldn't let me take it. That's not my fault. That's not their fault. You need to plan that ahead of time. Go to the Valencia website, go to the testing center of your campus and find out when they're open. Make sure you show up at least 2 hours before they close so that you have plenty of time to take the midterm or the final. Okay? If it closes at 9 and you show up at 8, they're going to only give you an hour. And they're not going to take any exceptions. Okay? We're going to check the schedule of due dates in a minute, but I just wanted to talk to you about that for real quick. There's 3 assignments that you guys have to have complete by this Saturday in order to stay enrolled in the course. And the reason for this is if you can't complete these 3 assignments by Saturday, you really don't need to be in an online class. Not only is this class online, but it's a math class online. These assignments here have nothing to do with math. This is all about time management and your ability to use your computer properly and follow instructions. If you can't do that by this date, then you definitely need to be in a face-to-face class because I don't want to keep you in a class that I don't think you're going to be successful in. I can tell you I have taught this online class for years, and 100% hands down, students who do not complete all 3 of these either don't pass or get very close to not passing. So trust me, it's a pretty good sign for me right away whether you're going to make it through the course or not. It's a harsh reality, but it's true. Any questions so far? All right, let's get to the due dates and the assignments. So I'm going to close this one. And I believe I had the schedule. Let's look at the schedule really quick. Okay. Alrighty. So as you can see, I tried to set it up pretty straightforward for you guys. All the due dates are Saturdays, as you can see, all at 11:59. So no matter what, you know something is due on Saturday. And again, except for the very last one, which is August 4th. And I put 8 p.m. because I believe most testing centers close between 8 and 9 o'clock. So I didn't want you to think that you had until midnight for your final exam because that's definitely not true. I'm going to show you, Eric, how to upload the syllabi, okay? Good question. So this here, again, is just a snapshot of all your assignments, what learning module you can find them in, what kind of assignments you'll find in each chapter, and then just some additional information. As you can see, these are the 3 important assignments that you have to do right away. Your video introduction, your practice iMath.AS, and uploading your syllabi quiz. That's what we're going to talk about today. And then you can also see right behind it very quickly, the very next week, July 4th weekend, Learning Module 1 and 2 is due. I know it's a holiday. If you don't want to be busy on the 4th, get it done by the 3rd. Okay? Like I said, the class is only 6 weeks, so I can't really do too much about that. You guys should print this, and this is your guide. I don't care what it says on the computer or any other screen. These dates right here, this is the deadline. Okay? Unless I post an announcement that says, oh, I'm giving you another week to work on so-and-so, these are the deadlines. Okay? So print that and tape it up on the wall right next to your computer. Okay. Alright, so let's go to Learner Module 0 because that's where the first 3 assignments are. And that's obviously what's most important this weekend. So as you can see, once I click on Learner Module 0 here, it gives me the objectives. Each and every learner module has its own set of objectives. It tells you what you're going to learn in that section. Your learning activities. These are the types of things you should be working on in this chapter. And these are the specifics. This is the syllabi and the due dates that we were just looking at. It's just another link because I wanted to make sure you guys would see them. Print them out. There's a pretty good guide. First assignment you want to complete is your Practice iMath.AS assignment. You can complete these assignments by clicking directly on the rainbow link. Now the first time you do it, you should get this screen here where it's asking you about logging in. You want to go ahead and hit Force Image Based Display. It's the 4th button down, and then log in. My screen, since I'm the teacher, shows preview assessment, but yours, when you click on it, should go directly here. Okay? And this is iMath.AS. This is your homework system. This is where your competency checks and your homework is. Okay? These grades will report back to the Blackboard gradebook as you complete them. So as you can see, the practice assignment has 9 questions, and this is all about learning how to use your iMath.AS online system. So it's telling you to input a fraction like 1/2, you would type 1/2 into the text box. Now you try, write the fraction 1/4 and then click the preview button. Okay, so let's try 1/4. I'm going to hit preview, and yes, it interpreted it the way that I meant it. I'm going to hit submit, and you can see that I got 1 out of 1, and it's a green bar. This means I got the question correct. 1 out of 1 means I got out of 1 possible point, I earned 1, and I'm going to go ahead and just click question number 2. This time, I'm going to intentionally get the question wrong because I want you to see what that looks like when you get the question wrong. It says to input a multiplication symbol like 5 times 2, you would type 5*2. So this time do 2 times 17. I'm going to write 3 times 17 on purpose because I want it to mark me incorrect. And I'm going to preview it anyway. It did interpret it correctly, but we know that that's not the right answer. So you can see after I hit submit, it says 0 out of 1, and this time it's just white with a little bit of red. In this case, you guys are going to want to reattempt the last question because you don't want to leave without getting your full possible points. So reattempt the question. Get all your points. And this is what I mean by completing your competency checks and your reviews for your midterm, your review for your final, and your homework. Just keep reattempting them until you get 100%. There's no reason not to. And as you can see, it's going to go down and ask, it's going to teach you how to type in several different types of things. Question number 3 is talking about typing in exponents. It uses the up arrow. So I'm going to write x cubed by writing x up arrow, and the up arrow is above the 6 key cubed. Preview it. Yes, that's what I mean. And submit. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of them, but you guys get the idea. Do you guys have any questions about the practice iMath.AS assignment? Okay, all right, so let's go back to Learning Module 0. I'm going to scroll down. So again, that was one of the 3 assignments that is due this weekend in order to stay enrolled in the course. The next one is going to be your video introductions. So the idea here is that you record yourself, and you can see several of your students have already, or classmates, have already submitted theirs, and they've even started talking to each other. Like I said, I'm going to post my video tomorrow and begin engaging with you guys. It's always a lot of fun to see who you're in class with and get to know your students. Honestly, guys, I usually find out that we have so much in common, way more than I ever expected, and it's just nice. I do enjoy teaching face-to-face classes, and I guess that's why I want to put a face to the name as far as teaching online goes. So you can see by clicking on the discussion, you can see the instructions here. You want to record yourself and talk about at least 3 facts about yourself. It could be interesting things that people might not know, things that you like to share, things that you're proud of, any of those things. And then you want to at least comment on at least 2 classmates. So if you only post a video, you are not going to get full credit. In order to get full credit, you have to post a video and comment on each other. Okay? I'll try to let you know if for some reason I'm having a hard time viewing your video so that you can try and post it in another format. Okay? Any questions about the video? You can also get to it by just hitting on discussions. No? Okay. Let me just make sure something was... Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to go back to Learning Module 0. So we have the practice assignment, the video introduction, and last but not least, the third assignment that you have to do this week is your syllabi quiz. This is basically you practicing how you intend on submitting your work, because again, there are certain assignments that I want you to actually show me your work. I need you to upload your assignments as PDFs. This is the easiest way for me to grade them and leave comments on them or view them. Some cell phones like iPhones, I know I have an app called Camscanner. It's a free app. It allows you to take pictures of documents, 8 by 11 sheets of paper, and it transfers it to a PDF for you. And then you could just email it to yourself, save it to your computer, and you can upload it to the assignment. So the idea here is that you take a regular piece of paper and you answer these 5 questions in your handwriting with a pen or a pencil. And then either use a scanner or an app like Camscanner and take a picture or scan that document and turn it into a PDF, save it to your computer, and you would upload it by clicking on Syllabi Quiz. Click directly on this assignment, okay? And when you click on it, you're going to see it's going to give you some options. It's going to tell you when it's due, how much it's worth. It's going to remind you about the assignment. Do not hit write submission and type in your answers. I want you to go ahead and browse your computer and go and find the document and upload it, okay? And then after that, you hit submit, okay? Now, of course, I'm not a student, so it's not going to allow me to do so, but that's exactly what you would do. Correct, Nina. So it's kind of a trick question. Do you guys have any questions about the assignments that are due right away? All right, I want to go ahead and ask you guys a question just to make sure we're all paying attention. All right, very good, guys. There are 3 questions due by this weekend in order to stay in the course, and they are all in Learning Module 0. By all means, when you finish Learning Module 0, you should definitely get started on Learning Module 1 and 2 because, again, they are due next weekend, and next weekend is a holiday. Here we have some whole numbers and integers. I'm going to point out that all these blue titles and red alternatives, these are all videos on whole numbers and the beginning topics of this section. What I would probably do is go ahead and click on the homework and take a look at it first to see if you remember it. And if you remember it, go ahead and do it. If you don't, then go back to the videos and refresh yourself. You can also use khanacademy.com. That has a lot of good videos. TeacherTube has a lot of good videos. And of course, like I said, you can snap a picture, text it to me, and I can either send you a short video or I'll just chat with you back and forth until I feel like you understand. So again, you have all your videos here. All of these links are all of your homework links for Chapter 1. So as you can see, there's 1A through 1G. They're not terribly long, but again, waiting until the last minute can be detrimental because you can see each section has 12, 10, 15 problems. So you never want to put yourself in a position where, you have too much to do. I know you guys have kids, family members, husbands, spouses, whatever, animals, pets, jobs, 2 jobs. You guys got a lot going on, and I know you're taking other classes. So I'm just trying to share with you things that I know do and doesn't work. Learning Module 2 has, again, more videos. And again, I will go ahead and open up the homework and give it a try. And if you're having trouble, then go back and look for videos to help you. But as you can see, not only is there homework for Chapter 2, but your first 2 competency checks are in Chapter 2. These are those quizzes that I said you can work on all the way until the end of the semester that prepare you for the final exam. So there's no reason for you guys not to get 100 on these, whereas your homework assignments, they do have deadlines, okay? And this, again, is the first opportunity for you to show my work, being organized, keeping your notes from watching videos, keeping your homework nice and neat, labeled, number your problems, show all your work. So this is saying show your work from homework section 2E. So from completing this section, you should have some work to show. What you're going to want to do is scan those pages, or again, use the app, save it to your computer, click on the actual assignment, and again, browse your computer and upload the document, okay? And make sure you hit submit. And that's how I'll be able to view your work. It's also a good way to send me pictures of things you're having trouble with so that I can comment back. I wouldn't say that there's a competency check for each learning module because, for instance, Chapter 2 had 2 of them in it. But there is a total of, I believe, 9. Let me check real quick. Once I open up, as you can see, I have some of the other chapters hidden. So I do have Learning Module 9 is actually not a chapter. It's just a section where it links all the competency checks together. So I'm just going to go there to see how many are there in total. There are 10 competency checks in total. Okay. So it's actually more frequent than a chapter. Cheyenne. Okay, I think, do you guys have any, oh, somebody has their hand up. Who's that? Do you guys have any other questions that you want to make sure I answer? Anything that's on your mind? Any concerns? Eric, yeah, for your homework, you do need to show your work for each question. Obviously, keep in mind the beginning 2 chapters is not a whole lot of work to show. But write down what you know you should, because again, we should not be using a calculator, so you should at least have that work written down as well. Now again, in the beginning, place values and things like that, there's not really a whole bunch to show, which is why the first assignment I ask you to show me isn't until 2E. Does that answer your question? I would do the competency checks throughout the course. Because then you're practicing it as you're going instead of trying to do them all at the end. By the end of the semester, you should have them all done with the highest score possible. Okay? So the competency check should be done throughout the course. I wouldn't wait until the end. That's kind of like asking for trouble. You only need to upload work that I specifically asked for. And like I mentioned, the first time I really asked for it is in Learning Module 2. So look out for those. Okay. And Eric, you said you emailed me a question or you texted me a question. Let's see. I haven't been in my email today yet. But I can look right now. Let's see. Okay, the decimals. Well, you know what? Let's go to that then. I'll do that. I'll answer that question about 1E right now then, okay? And Nina, you said you also texted me. Did I not answer? What did you ask me? About the recording? Oh, mine, it showed delivered. I have iMessage showing. No, these sessions are not mandatory. They're optional. They're just to help you and for me to be, available to you guys. I'll always record them and you'll always be able to watch them later. I'm not saying that you don't need to show it. I'm just saying that I'm not asking for anything until 2E, and then I ask for it after that because, again, in the beginning, there's not a whole lot to show. Yeah, first 2 competency checks are in Chapter 2, and, let's see, for instance, let me go back. Let's see, Chapter 3. Chapter 3 has 2 of them. I think Chapter 4, it skips around depending on what they are because some of the topics are kind of combined. So yeah, Chapter 4 has 2 of them. But yeah, each folder has a couple, and then like I said, Learning Module 9, I just linked all of them there, so if you wanted to look at just competency checks, you can go to Learning Module 9. I should have most of these open for you guys, I'd say by early next week, so that you can look ahead as much as you want. Have I answered everyone's questions besides the Chapter 1 thing? Let me go to the Learning Module 1 question. I think it was 1E, number 7, Eric said, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's see. You can use the portfolio binder or you can make your own. That's completely up to you. I am going to give you guys a learning style thing, which is in your binder. We are going to do a time management thing, which is in your binder. But again, I give you everything online. So if you want to just go buy a plain binder with some dividers and return that, that's okay. Because I'm not even sure how much they're charging you for that these days. All right, you said number 7. Yeah, you should keep all of your notes from doing your homework, all of your notes from doing your competency checks. If you log into my sessions or watch the recording, obviously this session was mostly information, but all the sessions after it will be math teaching like we're in class. So I would take notes during that too. Keep everything organized so you can study and ask questions and get your questions answered. And like I said, at the end of the semester, well, keep them nice, and that's the point. Keep them pretty, because at the end of the semester, there's an assignment that you guys have to do that's called your study tool. And you can create something new, like a poem or some kind of game or something as your study tool, or you can use the binder that you've been keeping organized all 6 weeks long as your study tool, which is what I would do. I wouldn't create more work for myself, but, it's up to you. This is kind of the point of it. In order to be successful in math, especially online, your notebook should be pretty. It should be organized. It should be labeled. What chapter is this? What section is this? What numbers did I do? I should be highlighting the ones that I have questions on so that when I talk to Miss Washington or I go to the Math Depot for help, I can get the help that I need. It's about being organized. Math is a logical thinking game. So you got to have your stuff together. Clean. No, yeah, none of that scratch paper stuff. I don't want no scratch paper. I want neat stuff. Okay? All right, so let's answer, I want to answer Eric's question. So I think it's not the same exact number, but it's a similar one. I will tell you that iMathAS is very picky, and if you're not getting the right answer, chances are it could be that something is wrong, or it could be that the question is weird. Now, for instance, this answer, and I'm going to switch to my pen real quick so you guys can see what I'm writing. This answer actually equals something ridiculous, and I was really hoping that it gave some extra instructions like round to the third decimal place, so on and so forth, but it doesn't. And I will say usually it does. Usually right down here somewhere or in red, it'll give some kind of specific instruction about how to type in your answer, and obviously this one does not. So I am going to be a student at this point and kind of just enter in what I think it's going to take, because math people like 3 decimal places. I'm going to try that and see if it likes me. So let's see. And it didn't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reattempt it, but this time I'm going to type in the whole answer, because since it doesn't give me any specifics about, oh, round to the third decimal place or anything like that, then chances are I have to actually type in the whole stinking thing. So let's go ahead and type that in. So this answer, now this is really ridiculous. I'm going to have to check this one, but for now, let's just see if it works. So, and this is what I mean by asking questions. You know, technology and all that, there are always mistakes. So if something just doesn't seem right, you got to open your mouth so that Miss Washington can fix it. But let's see if it likes this. Nope, it doesn't. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop showing my screen real quick because I want to go to Eric's specific question and show the answer, but I don't want to show anybody's grade. So just give me 1 second, okay? Eric. Oh, Eric, you must be in the other class. Let me go to the other one. Just give me 1 second, guys. Let me clear that marker out. Okay. Go. No problem, honey. This is what I do. I get bored when you guys don't ask me questions, believe it or not. I thrive on the questions. Okay. So give me 1 second. Again, I don't want to show anybody's grades, and that's why I stopped showing my screen for just a second. Okay. As soon as I get to the actual question, I will go back to what I was doing. Eric, there you are. Question number 1E. Alright, let's see. Oh, come on. It doesn't say that. Oh, Eric. I'm just going to show this real quick. Okay, so I'm looking at question number 7 right here. And you see how it says the remainder is? So in this, you were supposed to type in the remainder, and the remainder was 42. Now, what I don't see is, oh wait, is that number 7? Yeah, this is, yeah. So I'm not sure that was the same one. Okay, which question do you want me to go to? Was that not the right one, number 7? Was it this one down here? Okay, let's see. 1E, question 7. 4305 divided by 49. Let's see. All right, let me just stop one more time, because again, I don't want to go back. 1E, I'm pretty sure I was in 1E. Question. Okay, I see it right here. Well, again, yeah, I think, Eric, this is the one, right? I mean, this is it. But it's not, it's asking for the remainder. So what you would actually, if 43, so, okay. Remainder is, you can't use a decimal, right? We gotta do it by hand. That's the only way we're gonna get the remainder, right? So we're not actually typing in a decimal. We're doing 4305 divided by 49. Let me just make sure nobody's asking me more questions. And that's why there's no rounding, because it's not about the rounding. You know what I mean? You want me to keep going, or you know what I'm talking about? I don't see that one about the decimal, though. I don't see that question, the one you're asking. All of these seem to be asking about the quotient, the remainder. But the one that I got, like the one I got, that one was weird. I can't find that one, though. It doesn't like me. Yeah, the one I did, I can't, for some reason, I can't get to it. It's not letting me show that specific question. So if you guys get that weird one that I did where it's this long decimal and it's not asking what's the remainder, because that definitely wasn't asking what's the remainder, right? When I went to it, it was asking for, or did it say remainder? Was I not reading it? Did I miss it? I make mistakes. Let's see. Let me go back to mine and see if it was asking for a remainder and I was just, no, it was asking just a quotient. Okay. Yeah. Oh, no, look. The remainder is right there. Okay. So, as you can see, I think I spent a couple times typing in the answer, right? And here it is. It's asking for the remainder. What about this one? Number 6. 723 divided by 97. Oh, this is a whole number. Okay. All right. Do you guys have any other major questions? I do want to show you something real quick. Students usually find it helpful, and it has to do with sign numbers, positives and negatives. Just something quick, and it works with multiplication and division. So I'm going to give you guys some examples. Negative times a negative, positive times a negative, negative times a positive, and 2 positives. Okay? This is like tic-tac-toe. And you can even do this when you go to the testing center if you want. You're going to put P for positive right down the middle like a winner. And then you're going to put N for negative everywhere else. Again, just like tic-tac-toe. And this is like a map. So for instance, this one is a negative times a negative. So I'd say a negative times a negative is a positive. So I know this one is a positive too. This one here is a positive times a negative. So I'd say a positive times a negative is a negative. So I know this answer is a -1. This one is a negative times a positive. So I'm going to say a negative times a positive is a negative. And as you can see, it works no matter which way you go. A positive times a positive is a positive. So what do you guys think about that? Have you ever seen that before? thought it was pretty cool. And let's see. You're welcome. So again, but that's only multiplication and division. When it comes to adding and subtracting signed numbers, it's a little bit different. Okay. And actually, why don't I just go ahead and find a little example here to show you guys. Let me see, adding and subtracting. What section is adding? Let me go to order of operations, which is 2F. Let me go down to 2F. I don't know. They didn't show me that in elementary either. I learned it somewhere else. So let me find a decent question here. I'm going to just emphasize something to you guys right here. Whenever you have a negative sign and a number inside parentheses and is raised to the exponent, that means the whole thing is being raised to that power. So it's -5 times -5 times -5, which is a negative 125. Okay, so watch out for that one, because if there's not parentheses, I'll give you guys an example. The difference between -3 squared versus -3 in parentheses squared is the -3 in parentheses will be like -3 times -3 is a +9. Whereas in this one, it's just the negative sign and the 3 is the thing that is squared. So this answer actually ends up being a -9. So watch out for the difference between these two. Okay? I know sometimes that that's tricky for some people. But I'm trying to find an add and oh, let's do this one. Okay. So, like I said, the multiplication and division, you can use the tic-tac-toe board. But with adding and subtracting, this is kind of what I like to say. If the numbers have the same sign, you're going to add them. Okay? If the numbers have different signs, then you're going to subtract them. And if you happen to subtract, you always take the sign of the highest number. Okay? Obviously, if they have the same sign, you don't have to worry about who's higher because they're the same. Use the same sign. So in this problem here, whenever you do order of operations, you want to go to the innermost set of grouping symbols first. So here I have -3 minus a -5. I need to go ahead and simplify this, minus and minus. I don't need all that. That's way too much drama. I need to simplify that to just a 6, 3 plus, or that's a -3 plus 5, and then plus 7 on the outside. Okay? So again, I'm still working that innermost set of parentheses. But here I have a -3 and a positive side, 5. So do my numbers have the same or different signs? Do my numbers have the same or different signs? Come on, guys. Go ahead and type it in. -3 and a positive 5. Different signs. Since they have different signs, I'm going to subtract and take the sign of the highest number. I get 2. 5 is bigger, so it's a positive 2. So now it's 6 times 2 plus my 7. 6 times my 2 is 12. Plus my 7, my final answer is 19. I'm going to go ahead and type that in. 19. And hit submit. Okay. So again, tic-tac-toe for multiplication and division. And same sign add, different sign subtract. Okay. We've been on for about an hour. That's usually the longest I do for any session. I'll post in a couple days the day and the time for the next one. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and text me, email me. I do have one more question I want you guys to answer before we get off. And you can be completely honest, don't worry. And go ahead and give me an answer. And I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining me. I know it's nighttime, it's dinner time, it's time to get, the family together. But like I said, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, okay? All right, thank you guys so much. I will be uploading the recording to my YouTube, and I will post a new link on the announcement so you guys can watch this later. Hit the ground running, guys. Make sure you get your video up so that you can comment on other people's. I'm going to get mine up tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys soon. Catherine, yes, you can work ahead. You definitely can work ahead. Sorry.